Have you ever wondered if your thoughts could actually reshape reality itself? What if I told you that modern physics has uncovered something extraordinary about the connection between your mind and the universe that most people don't even realize exists? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-bending discoveries of our time, and how it reveals that your consciousness might be influencing the world around you in ways that seem almost impossible. Picture this scenario for a moment. You wake up tomorrow morning and suddenly realize that every single thought you've ever had has been sending out invisible signals into the universe, creating ripples that affect not just your own life but the lives of everyone around you. That might sound like science fiction, but cutting-edge research suggests this could be closer to reality than you think. Scientists have discovered something called the observer effect, where the mere act of observing something at the quantum level actually changes its behavior. But here's where it gets really interesting. If consciousness can influence matter at the smallest scales, what does that mean for your daily experience? Could your mental state actually be broadcasting signals that attract certain people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life? Think about those moments when you've had a strong intuition about something and it turned out to be exactly right. Or when you've thought about someone intensely and they suddenly called you out of the blue. These aren't just coincidences. They might be glimpses of a deeper truth about how consciousness operates in our universe. The foundation of this phenomenon lies in something physicists call non-local correlation. When particles become connected at the quantum level, they maintain an instantaneous link regardless of the distance separating them. Change one particle, and its partner responds immediately, even if it's on the other side of the galaxy. This suggests that at the most fundamental level, everything in existence is interconnected through invisible threads of information. But here's the revolutionary part. If you're made of the same fundamental particles that exhibit these mysterious connections, then your consciousness might also be part of this vast network of interconnected information. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions could be operating through the same principles that govern the quantum realm. Research conducted at prestigious institutions has shown that human consciousness produces measurable electromagnetic fields that extend far beyond the physical boundaries of your body. These fields don't just stay contained within you, they interact with other energy systems in your environment, creating what scientists describe as a continuous exchange of information between your inner world and external reality. When you understand this principle, you begin to see why some people seem to effortlessly attract positive experiences, while others remain trapped in cycles of struggle and limitation. The difference isn't luck or privilege. It's about learning to work consciously with these invisible forces that are already operating in your life, whether you're aware of them or not. Your subconscious mind acts like a powerful broadcasting station, constantly transmitting signals based on your deepest beliefs and emotional patterns. Most of this transmission happens completely below your conscious awareness. If your subconscious is programmed with thoughts of scarcity, fear, or unworthiness, that's the frequency you're broadcasting into the quantum field. The universe responds by reflecting those patterns back to you through your life experiences. This is why positive thinking alone isn't enough to create lasting change. Your conscious mind might want one thing, but if your subconscious is programmed with contradictory beliefs, you'll experience internal conflict that shows up as mixed results in your external world. The key is learning how to reprogram these deeper patterns so that your entire being is aligned with what you want to create. Neuroscientists have discovered that your subconscious mind processes approximately 11 million pieces of information per second, while your conscious mind can only handle about 40. This means that the vast majority of your mental activity is happening beneath the surface of your awareness. These unconscious processes are what determine your vibrational frequency and consequently what you attract into your life. The programming stored in your subconscious was largely established during your early childhood years, when your brain operated primarily in a highly receptive state, similar to hypnosis. During this critical period, you absorb beliefs, patterns, and limitations from your environment without any conscious filtering. These early impressions became the foundation of your adult reality, even if they no longer serve your highest good. Consider how many times you've set goals with genuine enthusiasm, only to find yourself sabotaging your own progress just as you were about to achieve them. This happens because, while your conscious mind is committed to change, your subconscious is still operating from old programming that feels safer with familiar limitations than unknown possibilities. The breakthrough comes when you realize that consciousness isn't confined to your individual brain. Advanced physics suggests that consciousness might be a fundamental property of the universe itself, much like gravity or electromagnetism. This means that your awareness is connected to a vast field of intelligence that extends far beyond your personal thoughts and experiences. When you align your consciousness with this larger field, something remarkable happens. You start accessing information and insights that seem to come from beyond your ordinary thinking mind. Solutions appear seemingly out of nowhere. People and resources show up at exactly the right time. Opportunities unfold in ways that feel orchestrated by some greater intelligence. This isn't mystical thinking. It's the natural result of learning to work with the fundamental principles that govern how consciousness interacts with reality. When your mind becomes coherent and focused, when your emotions are elevated and aligned with your intentions, you begin operating at a frequency that naturally attracts circumstances that match your elevated state. But there's a crucial element that most people miss when they first learn about these concepts. Simply wanting something isn't enough to manifest it. The universe responds to your authentic vibrational signature, not just your surface desires. If you want abundance, but feel anxious every time you think about money, you're sending mixed signals. The anxiety is actually the stronger signal, because it carries more emotional charge. This is why so many people get frustrated when they first attempt to consciously create their reality. They focus on changing their thoughts, while ignoring the emotional component. But emotion is what gives your thoughts power. It's what transforms a mere mental concept into a vibrational transmission that can influence the quantum field. The most effective approach involves what researchers call coherence between your head and heart. This means aligning your mental intentions with authentic emotional states that match what you want to experience. When you can genuinely feel grateful for abundance before you have it, when you can embody confidence before you achieve success, when you can radiate love before finding your ideal relationship, you're working with the creative forces of the universe, rather than against them. Your nervous system plays a crucial role in this process. When you're in a state of stress, fear, or survival, your body produces chemicals that keep you focused on past problems or future threats. This contracted state of awareness severely limits your ability to perceive new possibilities or access creative solutions. But when you learn to regulate your nervous system and maintain elevated emotional states, you open up to receiving insights and opportunities that weren't visible from lower frequencies. This is where practices like meditation, breathwork, and visualization become powerful tools for transformation. They're not just relaxation techniques, they're methods for training your consciousness to operate at frequencies that naturally align with the outcomes you desire. When you consistently practice elevating your internal state, regardless of external circumstances, you begin to influence reality from the inside out. Many ancient wisdom traditions understood these principles long before modern science began to validate them. Concepts found in various spiritual and philosophical systems describe the same interconnected field that quantum physicists are now studying. What we're discovering is that consciousness and matter aren't separate phenomena. They're different aspects of the same underlying reality. This understanding changes everything about how you approach personal transformation. Instead of trying to force changes through willpower and effort alone, you learn to work with the natural flow of consciousness and energy. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to strengthen your alignment with higher frequency. The process of conscious creation isn't always linear or predictable. Sometimes the universe responds to your elevated state by first bringing up old patterns that need to be cleared. This can feel like things are getting worse before they get better, but these apparent setbacks are actually recalibrations. Opportunities for you to demonstrate that your new frequency is stable and authentic. When you understand this dynamic, you stop interpreting temporary challenges as signs of failure and start recognizing them as part of the natural unfolding process. Your job isn't to control every detail of how your desires manifest. Your job is to maintain alignment with the frequency of what you want to experience and trust the intelligence of the universe to orchestrate the details. This requires developing a new relationship with uncertainty. Instead of needing to know exactly how and when things will happen, you learn to find peace in the space between intention and manifestation. This isn't passive wait, it's active trust, maintaining your elevated state while remaining open to how the universe might surprise you with its perfect timing and methods. The implications of this understanding extend far beyond personal goal achievement. When you realize that your consciousness is interconnected with everyone and everything around you, you begin to see that healing yourself contributes to healing the world. Raising your own frequency doesn't just benefit you, it adds to the collective elevation of human consciousness. This is why the work you do on yourself matters more than you might realize. Every time you choose love over fear, abundance over scarcity, or possibility over limitation, you're contributing to a shift in the overall frequency of human experience. You're literally helping to create a more conscious and connected world through your individual transformation. The key to sustaining this elevated state is consistency, rather than perfection. You don't need to maintain high frequencies every moment of every day. You just need to spend more time in alignment than out of alignment. Each time you catch yourself in old patterns and consciously choose to shift back to your desired frequency, you're strengthening your capacity to live from this new level of awareness. As you develop this skill, you'll notice that your relationship with time changes. Instead of feeling like you're chasing after your goals, you begin to experience life as an unfolding journey, where each step reveals the next. You develop trust in the process and find joy in the present moment rather than postponing happiness until you achieve specific outcomes. This shift in perspective is perhaps the most profound transformation of all. When you stop trying to manipulate reality and start collaborating with it, when you move from forcing to allowing, when you transition from separation to connection, you discover that the power you've been seeking outside yourself has been within you all along. The universe isn't something separate from you that you need to convince or persuade. You are an expression of the universe becoming conscious of itself through your unique perspective. Your thoughts, emotions, and experiences are how the cosmos explores its own infinite potential. When you align with this truth, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as a conscious participant in the grand adventure of existence. This understanding doesn't eliminate challenges from your life, but it transforms how you relate to them. Instead of seeing problems as evidence that something is wrong, you begin to recognize them as invitations to grow, opportunities to access deeper levels of wisdom and creativity. Every obstacle becomes a chance to demonstrate your mastery over your own consciousness. As we conclude this exploration into the hidden connections between mind and reality, remember that knowledge without application remains merely interesting information. The concepts we've discussed today are invitations to experiment with your own consciousness, to test these principles in your daily life, and discover for yourself the power that lies dormant within your awareness. Your mind is not separate from the universe. It is how the universe experiences itself through your individual consciousness. When you align with this truth and learn to work consciously with the invisible forces that shape reality, you discover that you've always had access to infinite creative potential. The only question is whether you're ready to claim it and begin living as the conscious creator you were born to be. The journey of conscious creation is ultimately a journey of remembering who you truly are, beyond the limitations of conditioned thinking. It's about awakening to your role as an active participant in the unfolding of reality. rather than a passive observer of circumstances beyond your control. This awakening changes everything, not through force or struggle, but through the natural power of aligned consciousness expressing itself through your unique life experience. If you like this kind of content and want to see how advanced your mind is, you can follow my channel and subscribe.